Homesteading and backyard chicken keeping is hard enough without all these silly little problems. And when your chickens eat their own eggs, they are stealing a tangible asset from your homestead. And I don't know about you, but I hate a thief. In this video, I'll try to help you understand why chickens are eating their eggs and all the tips and tricks I've learned over the years on how to stop them. Why do they eat their own eggs? First and foremost, they have no moral sense of reasoning. Anything that would eat its own child is not a moral creature. I wouldn't really consider them exceedingly intelligent animals in the whole scheme of things. You may disagree with me on the intellectual capacity of a chicken, and that's fine. But after a few short years of fooling with honeybees, I learned what real intelligence looks like in the animal kingdom. And when compared to honeybees, chickens just fall short. Anyway, laying that aside for now, some suggest if chickens are lacking calcium or protein, they'll develop a taste for their own eggs because they are nutrient deficient. But in my humble opinion, if I'm allowed to have one, that's not the case at all. I agree they could be hungry enough to eat an egg, but nutrient deficiency being the reason that they would target their own eggs as a food source, that's a stretch for me. The real reason chickens eat their own eggs is because somewhere in the process of getting into the laying box, laying an egg, and getting out, an egg cracked and the albumin began to leak. And chickens, like their Tyrannosaurus Rex cousins, are attracted to movement.
Can't see us if we don't move.
And they'll peck at anything that moves to try to eat it. And seeping albumin from a cracked egg is no exception. When they learn that their children are not only edible, but also delicious, a very bad habit has just been formed. So how do we handle this situation? The most efficient plan of action with the fastest resolve would be to eliminate that particular bird and reduce it slowly and peacefully into a pot of dumplings, if you can identify the culprit. I've not found an effective way to do this since they don't answer you when you ask them about it. So the next best things you can do are as follows. Make sure their nesting boxes are full of soft and fluffy stuff that they can waller around in and make a nest. A hard bottom in a nesting box is a cracked egg waiting to happen. And also make sure it's dark in their nesting area. That way if they do crack one, they can't see the stuff leaking out of it. Also, the nesting boxes should be low. They should be much lower than the roost. If your nesting boxes are elevated, they may roost in them, which causes all kinds of problems on top of cracked eggs. This kind of goes without saying, but your nesting boxes should be away from the main flow of traffic. They should be a distinct area for one purpose: laying eggs. Go to the laying box, lay an egg, leave, and get out of there. I know we all work for a living, but collecting eggs a couple of times a day can help. And it's just a simple logic. If an egg lays in the laying box for 7 hours a day, that's 7 hours of opportunity for something bad to happen to it. You cut down the time that the egg is in there, it cuts the risk down. And their diet, not with an emphasis necessarily on nutrient deficiency, but it's just simply to keep them full enough where they're not hungry to want to peck an egg. With a good diet of high protein laying pellets and maybe some supplemental calcium here and there through oyster shells or through their own egg shells, this should be plenty for their diet. And we need to talk about calcium briefly, but first, if you feed your chickens their egg shells back to them, make sure they're crushed up or blended first. Don't feed them back to them if they still resemble an eggshell. If you do, you may be contributing to your own misfortune. Calcium is very important to chickens and probably one of the most overlooked nutrients, especially to new chicken keepers. Even if you have all the boxes checked with your nesting box, it's in a dark place, out of the way, and you got plenty of soft bedding in there, you could have all those boxes checked. But if they're calcium deficient, their egg shells will be so soft that even two eggs just bumping into each other could cause one of them to crack. Now those ceramic or clay eggs, that could be enough to discourage them not to peck at an egg-shaped object. I've got a couple of fake egg items listed in the description below, along with the high calcium and high protein chicken snacks that I always recommend, and a bunch of other good stuff. But I want to be open and honest with you folks right now. I am a terrible salesperson. I will tell you that I have stuff for sale, and then I'll tell you not to buy any of it. The truth is, I am an Amazon affiliate, and I do make a very tiny commission if you purchase something out of my description. But I don't want anybody to think that I'm trying to push anything on them. This may sound weird coming from somebody on this platform, but I will not exploit my viewers for financial gain. A lot of times it's done unethically, and that's just a filthy way to make a living. I may mention things that I have in my description, or I may collaborate with a sponsor on things that you may be interested in. But I work for a living, and I don't necessarily need affiliate or sponsor money to eat or pay my bills. I live down here in southern Mississippi, and it don't take much for us to get by. It is nice to have a little extra, but I'm not gonna trodden you underfoot to try to build my empire. I know I'm kind of tired of seeing it on the channels that I watch sometimes, and you probably are too. Anyway, I'm rambling. I got to get off here. I got to build another brooder because I can't do chicken math. Anyway, till next time, God bless. We'll see you soon.